Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a Graphtec Thermal Arraycorder. Pretty cool name, huh? It's a little bit difficult to say. Arraycorder WR7700. As far as I can understand, this thing got 8 analog inputs, and you can enable and disable the different inputs individually. And we got serial port, power in, see some contrast and stuff, print and display. That's interesting. Yeah, it says a little bit in the name. It's a thermal printer, and we can open here, and there's a nice little instruction so you can figure out how to put in the paper. And I'm quite lucky I got those end holders, so when you empty the paper, I think it's a good idea just to leave it like this and then put in a new reel, because you want those end things here to hold your new reel. And yeah, if you do like that, then it releases the pressure on that paper roller thing. And I bet there is some sort of a printer or something in here. And then we got, yeah, this one is equipped with all 8 channels. You can have the this model also exists in 4 channels, and I think also in 16. So that means it can be equipped with more or less channels. Got a little bit with a DC offset, or the position of each, some filter and the sensitivity. We can be AC or DC or something like that. It's actually quite impressive product, and it looks like it's sort of in a good condition. We also got some connectors here on the side. So we got more channels right here, see? 4, 4, 4, 4. Really? So that will be 16 channels if we use this input instead of the normal input here on the side. I think that's a little bit interesting. It looks like it's quite expensive as well. It's really well designed and all that. I don't know how old it is, but I will try and see what I can figure out. I got 2 new reels of paper with this one, and all the cables. And now now it's interesting. I got all the manuals. Is this just a copy? No. So that's another number. User manual. Okay, so this is a copy of this one. This one says English. So what is this then? Also English. Well, so I got a copy as well. But we got all the manuals, we got all the paper. There's no excuse for not playing with this fantastic unit and figuring out how it works and what can it do, and it can print out everything with some value, some data. You could do the curves, you can do all sorts of cool things. Trace expansion. Well, what happens? I really want to power this up and see if it works. So let's try and do the first power on. So let's, yeah, we got mains connected and it's not using any power, and then I will click here. And it's using 20 and 40 watts. We got the screen is nice and fine here. Oh, see, let's try and play with the contrast. Aha! Paper is out. But it looks like, yeah, there is a response. And here is channel 3. We got a little bit of, it was just in the middle. All of them response. I can hear some stuff is doing clickety click. So maybe everything is moving needles or some cool things in here. Oh, I can't wait to play with that. After a long, tough fight with the paper, I think I finally managed to feed the paper. So what can we do then? Can we hit print? Can we do start? Oh, look, it's moving. What is it printing? Oh, feed. Plot. Oh, look at that. It is printing something. I just need more patience. Oh, I'll try and put in some signals and see if I can get some curves or something. I am totally sold. This is probably one of the most sexy printers I've ever played with. Whoa, look at that. I just let it run a little bit. I put in 2 signals. And the resolution here is so fine and crisp, and it's razor sharp. The pixels here, let's see if I can even get this. They're so small, and it's so sharp. This prints in a super high resolution. I did not expect it to be that fantastic. But I did also look this up. In 1991, this one was 48,000 Danish kroners. I mean, please look this up and please translate this to whatever currency you want, and then figure out the how much that is today in today's money. So that is fantastic. Look at when you stop the printing. Here I hit the stop, and then it makes this nice report here after. It just continue and continue and continue with whatever input you got. All this was because I was playing around with the feed, and then it explains this, so you can read out exactly what you got, and then it says your settings. See, range that means full scale range. The 2 volts, that is my full range, and I input 1 volt, so it should be half of the range, and that is definitely what I see, wouldn't you say? Yes, it is, because you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's also accurate, and the time is also accurate, right? All I have to do is figure out how to set the time and all that. Yeah, look at that. This is my date and time. It's just completely bollocks. We can't not have that. But yeah, Do we dare to take this apart and figure out how is this printing? How is this working? So just power it up again and then I read the screen. Don't you think this is a little bit funny? Date 13 April 41, and then time is 25 hours 24 23. I mean that is a little bit funny. There isn't any range check with the timing here, man. What the heck is that? So now it is a new day and I'm still testing how the clock and date works. And I can see the date is correct, but time is definitely not running and hasn't been running for like 5-6 hours. But it did run most of the night until almost 10 o'clock. But now it's afternoon, so there's a problem here. And I prepared to find a battery of some sort that is more or less defect in here somewhere. So I'm trying to dig my way into this unit here, and it's really full of electronics. It's amazing. We got the whole bottom here. We got 2 circuit boards. There's a big one there. There's another one down there. We got a power supply here in the middle. We got a top board, and there's of course the input board. I'm going to try and see if I can figure out how to get deeper into this thing. There's a little switch here that will detect if this one is open, tickety tack, and there's a stepper motor doing the paper forward. And I think there's also a little sensor here that detects if there's paper or not. And all the connectors here, they are different types. So that's real smart. So there's no interchanging stuff when you put it back together. So that is great. Oops. What is that? Here's another funny connector that is not connected to anything. Got some more connectors like that. That is something I need to look a little bit at. That is a little bit of a surprise. So this is the other side, and I find another stepper motor here. So, and this pulley system. So that means we need 2 of them. So it's pulling the paper from both sides. Probably a better way to do it, so it's not going to be folded or anything like that. And that's most likely the wires for the stepper motor that goes down to that board right there. And maybe those will be the analog inputs. We got 8 similar connectors, so I assume those goes to the input board right there. I also found a little expansion option here. I think you can put in some sort of a connector board, so some extra connectivity. I don't know what you want to say about this, but I've been sitting here and laughing a little bit, and I'm only showing half of it because there's so much more. We got all the boards in here, and it's already getting a little bit crazy. See, that will be the 4 input connectors on the side with 4 inputs in each. We got some analog stages and probably some analog converters and all sorts of stuff going on right here. So that's probably the 80 converter and some analog multiplexers and stuff. And then it comes back to this interface here, and that goes to that plug-in module here. And that one, see, we've got more microcontrollers, probably there and there. And there's another one down there, another EEPROM for that one. And then this one interfaces to the main board right here. That will be our clock calendar chip. And here is our battery. So this one I need to change or charge. See, it's a nickel cadmium battery. How nice. It's probably in a socket, or maybe I need to desolder it. And there's also a little, is that a microcontroller? Handling all that stuff. We got some RAM and EEPROM and microcontroller. Again, EEPROM and RAM. And over here, another TMS320 microcontroller with memory and RAM. And again, RAM, memory, another TMS320 microcontroller. So it is packed with microcontroller solutions to do whatever little funky thing it's doing. And here is the tiny little power supply. Of course, a little switch mode power supply. So what I think is a little bit interesting is this is the input, and then it goes here. All of it. Maybe there's another one in there somewhere, right? Then power goes to this board, and then where is it going? So this one is both data and power. And there's also a power cable here, going back to something as well. Yeah, and here it says 5 volts and ground, so this is going somewhere else. So there's probably another power supply up there as well. And up here we see the input board. Oh, we also got tons of boards down here. It's stacked with boards standing up like that, and those interconnect here. We got the connectors for all those input stage boards. I got to see if I can open it some more and have a little look more, but it's just amazing how much electronics. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, okay, I can probably, no, I can of course not get this board out from this side because we got the other plug-in modules, but I really want to access this battery, and I tried to pull it a little bit, so I think it's soldered. So I also need to figure out how to get into that area. So I took the top cover out, and now we can really see the rest of all the cool things. Yes, there is another power supply hidden here on the top, right behind the power entry. And we got 8 input modules hidden right here, like that, and they go into those connectors right there. And I believe that the input from the input connector and filter board, see, that one goes in here, and then we got some relays, and then probably a little buffered output or something, and that will drive the DC offset here on the top, DC offset, and this little indicator telling where we are. And there's also the little LCD display with a backlight hidden right here, and the card reader connector. So that goes also in that one. See, all those flat cables here, and another one right there, and all the analog input output stuff. And then here is a little high voltage generator for the backlight. The display, this is a display backlight connector to mate with that one. And here is the power supply, and there's a connector here that was not connected to anything, and that is, I believe, you short this with a little shorting jumper, and then it becomes 100 to 220, as you can see right there. So this is the voltage selector connector, so leave this open for 200 to 240. So that is how this switch mode works. We got some connectors here for power going in and out and all that kind of stuff. And then there's only one tiny little detail left to look at, and that is the thermal printer itself. And that is, there is a long part under here where the paper rolls around. You can't really see it, but it's one of those modules where you have this connector here and another one here, and then you communicate with the heaters in there, and I think it's either high voltage spikes that spikes through the paper in tiny little well-defined spots, because otherwise how can it that fast heat up the paper? And also there's a discharge, so all these you see here, they are carbon fibers and they discharges the paper because the paper is probably static charged or something like that after the printing. So that is probably why we will have these little carbon fibers there, I guess. Yeah, I think we've been pretty much through the entire unit so far. I really hope that I can get down to the battery and see if I can fix that so my clock will work better. So I took the mega big board out to get the battery out, and here's the fantastic little power battery here for backing up all the settings and also maintaining clock and time. But it's 3.6 volts, and I mean that is very close to a 4 volt lithium cell, right? But it's 3 cells nickel cadmium. So yeah, I could put 1 cell lithium in here instead, and that will probably work as well. Even with the charger and everything will also work. So I think that is what I will do if I can find something that will fit, because I don't have that much height. But I will solder in some little solder points, and then I will deal with this later when I assemble everything, if I can figure out how to do that. But god damn it, I got a lot of wires and cables and whatever is going on here. I just pulled a little bit and it went to pieces. So here is my little 3-cell battery, exactly as I imagined. So I'm going to assemble this in a few minutes. And here's my new battery system. Well, solution for the battery, and what I found is one of those AA-sized lithium cells. And this one is sold on all the Chinese websites as 1500 milliamps. But they are, of course, fake, just like any other things you buy there for cheaps. And it is really 350 milliamp hours. And as long as you just know you got 350, then it's actually quite good cell. It's still 10 times the capacity compared to the... Oh, not exactly 10 times, but this one is rated 50 milliamp hours, and I got 350. So it's still a lot more. Okay. Perfectly fine. So now it's back assembled, and I was able to pack all the wires on both sides much more nice and fine, and I was able to get the sides on much easier. But see, they are a little bit bent out like that due to somebody else previously didn't pack the wires as nice as I could. And as you can see here, it is getting a little bit late now, so I better turn it off and go to bed. And tomorrow I will see if date and time is still running perfectly fine. So I am about to say bye-bye and thank you very much for now. It is 18:01 or something like that the next day, and I really hope that we will see. Yes, it works. Haha. So that was it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon again. I hope you had a little bit of fun with this multi-processor fantastic tool. And please tell me something cool I can use this for. I really want a good reason to keep this one, because I love it so much. I just really need a reason what can I use this for? I need to use it for something cool one day. Yeah, this is how you turn off the different channels. You just dial it all the way out of range. So what would you use this one for? Some kind of experiment, locking, documenting something, I guess.